Preston O'Phil.
And I'm Colin Glowinky.
And this is What's Your Weird?
The show where we take stories from the internet and give you our unqualified opinions.
Cody, I've been waiting all week. What are we looking at today? Look at this thing.
We are starting with fish.
With fish? Okay. TIFU by obliterating my wife's fish. A lot to unpack here.
No joke yet. No joke yet.
Happened last night. Wife's 8-year-old large goldfish was passing away.
Okay, so we'll start here. Large goldfish. I'm hoping that comes in detail here because obliterating a large goldfish, it's a mess.
That sounds like a lot. That sounds like a lot.
And 8 years. That's an old goldfish.
Yeah, actually, I had a really old fish as well. I had a Plecostomus.
I'm so sorry. Did the doctor fix it for you? Or
Nope. But what it is a fish. It's a bottom feeder fish. Big old thing. It sucks like moss and stuff.
like a
that
sucker fish. Are they the brown ones?
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, cool. We had some.
I had one that I think was 5 or 6 years old and grew to be about 12 inches.
A foot.
It was around about ruler size.
Whoa.
And
how thick? I see ruler length, but that's a big.
It was a big fish. Like I had to get a bigger tank to house it.
That's kind of nice of you.
It was really nice.
Yeah.
And so after it died one night and we were like, what do you do with the fish that is unalived? You flush it down the toilet.
Of course.
So my dad and I at like 2 a.m. are like, okay, we got to flush this thing down the toilet. Cause
we can't wait until the morning.
No, cause he had a flight the next morning. Like he was going to fly out. So he was like, okay, we got to flush this fish down the toilet really quick.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get to bed so that I can get up for the 6 a.m. flight in like an hour.
He doesn't care about the fish. Just to make
at
sure
all.
you know.
We've had this fish
tired.
for years. And he's like, nope.
Good. I bought a second tank for this 2-cent purchase that we had.
Exactly.
Yeah. This hysterectomy, what was the fish called?
A Plecostomus.
Got it.
So he flushes it down the toilet and it spins and spins and spins. And then it stops going down at one point in time. And the tail just starts wiggling. It's dead. Don't worry. It's the water going through it. It's still just and we're like, oh no, we got to get this fish out of there. So my dad reaches in there and grabs the tail and pulls out half of my Plecostomus.
Oh no. No.
And we like tried to get it the first half out because it's still solid fish in the front in the toilet, clogging it.
There's a head in there.
Right. So we got to like get it out and like we're trying to plunge it and we cannot get it out. And like about 4 a.m. rolls around and my dad goes, I have a flight at 6. I'm leaving.
Bye.
So I had a rotten fish in my toilet for like 3 days.
Oh, and imagine explaining that to anyone where you're like, I do know it smells.
Right. I had a
really
Jack
wasn't
and
me.
Jill bathroom with my brother. So we both were just like, well, hope you don't have to pee tonight.
We're going to pee in the fish tank.
Exactly.
We've got 2 of them.
It's
ironic, too, because that kind of fish, if there was a clog in the toilet, would be the kind of fish who could fix the clog.
Right.
The irony is thick in this one.
I know. It was actually a really bad week for me.
Wow. Hey, I'm sorry. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
We'll get you a new fish, okay?
No, let's not do that. The time I have a smaller toilet now, so.
Oh, nice. Yeah. It is nice to think of the future when people are flushing their fishes. There's like bidets now and stuff like that, so you can send it off with like a little fireworks show. We're gonna miss you, Odie. I didn't know I couldn't get more than one beta. I didn't know.
That's flush. Be good. Anyways,
right, there's this whole thing.
Had dropsy. Wife's 8-year-old very large goldfish was passing away. Had dropsy. Whatever. Was suffering and was on the verge of death. Is had dropsy the name?
I think it's a disease, maybe. Oh, we think it's the name, though. Okay.
He had dropsy.
Yeah. Wife and I looked at the symptoms and practically no hope of him making a recovery. So she asked me to euthanize him.
Oh, no.
Yo, looking into methods, it seemed pretty agreed upon that the most effective and quick way to euthanize a fish was blunt force or trauma. This dude's obliterating a wife's fish.
I think large goldfish certainly is coming into play later.
He's like, he's taking this fish to a title boxing club and just going 9 rounds.
That's right. Heard of Everlast, son? What do you got, Cody?
So dropsy is a condition in fish caused by the buildup of fluid inside the body cavity or tissues.
Isn't that what
That's
they
why
breathe?
it was large.
Yo,
Oh, no.
it was sick. They're like, I've got a prize fish. And it's like, actually quite the opposite.
Show him your prize fish. This is Lenny. Lenny, say hi.
He has bronchitis of the gill. Yo.
The best way to euthanize a fish is blunt force trauma. Now, when I was a kid, my family were huge anglers, and I was designated as the fish killer when it was time to cook them. Back then, I was told to slam them on the ground as hard as I could. Well,
Do what your parents taught you.
that's right, exactly.
I don't think I've ever been cooking and somebody was like, before we throw this in the pot in the pan, will you throw this asparagus on the ground as hard as you can? It's not frozen or anything, but we just need to get it.
That's because you weren't trying to kill it.
All right.
That's true.
It
That's
wasn't
true.
a fish.
But you know what? Maybe you could kill it in a more humane way, like poisoning it slowly and yeah, that.
Well, normally
do
that
that.
is the most humane way. You throw it as hard as you can, as quick as you can, so it's just instant.
Yeah. And also, you can't poison something you're going to eat.
I was really hoping you were going to tell him that part.
Like, that's a bad idea,
That would-
typically.
That would be true. And you can't really like get dead from fish that was beaten to death. So,
Yep.
all right. Yeah.
Last boy's really figuring this out today.
That's right.
Point taken.
We'll turn you into an angler yet.
An anglerfish?
Uh-huh.
What?
Well, my 8-year-old body wasn't strong enough to kill them instantaneously, so I had to do it multiple times. Honestly, it kind of effed me up a little, which makes sense for an 8-year-old.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. You don't have to
Oh.
imagine an 8-year-old slamming a fish on the ground and then being like, ew, and then some parental figure being like, do it again.
No, it is not dead. And I'm like, I don't know.
I don't want to do it. And it's like, do it again.
It's just staring at him with no eyebrows. Just, oh.
And they're like, Colin, it's in pain. Do it faster. Anyways, just like a general kid, imagine.
Wow. Just fish. God, I don't know. I'm having problems with how this kid's learning how to beat him. But I remember the bird farm. My uncle killing not a fish, but a chicken with instead of cutting its head off, grabbing it by its neck and
Ringing it?
So like that's worse than throwing a fish on the ground,
I
right?
think it's about probably
Might be a crime. Not my uncle, my friend's
No.
uncle.
I don't think it's a crime. I think that's like a accepted way to wring a bird's neck when it's got a longer neck.
Ah, so it's the length of the neck that's a question. So
I'm-
like
I
a
am-
goose? Absolutely.
I'm literally trying to give your uncle friend an out.
Right, you're sorry. My friend's uncle's friend.
Yeah.
Yes, right. My uncle, who happened to have birds, very nice to all of them. Never once a single rude thing. Never took an egg. Never took a feather.
Right.
Never took a life.
Never took a life.
Never gonna give you up.
Mm-hmm. Stole my heart.
Mm.
But my uncle's cousin's friend, though,
Jerk.
horrible to birds.
That's the word I wanted to say.
Jerk.
Awful man. Jerk. All right.
What do you got, Cody?
Google is a scary place about how to kill chickens.
Oh my
Oh yeah. Do you see the traffic cone? Is that what you're looking at?
Just straight up, I was like, just decapitate them.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There. What I'm saying with the traffic cone is you'll put the chicken in upside down, so its head's sticking out of the hole in the traffic cone, and you just take it that way,
Wow.
and then
that,
it's in there to drain too.
that is engineering.
Yeah, it's better than like any of those vegan documentaries you watch. They just take
Yeah.
the chicks and they're like, "You're a dude." In the blender you go,
Mhm.
and that's just bones and meat. That'll be a delicious chicken nugget from
Oh,
McDonald's.
golly, it's gonna be so yummy when it's done.
Oh my god, I'm so hungry right now.
Ever had
Oh.
veal?
Yeah, I've had veal.
Very good.
Yeah, of course. Have you ever had beef?
I have had beef.
Listen, we're naming foods now,
That's
and they're all
right.
good.
Uh-huh.
They're all
100%.
cookable.
Uh-huh.
What
Falafel?
besides? I like to throw my falafel up against the.
The ground real quick to make sure it's dead.
All right, let's ball this stuff up.
Mhm.
Anyway,
Do we be silent for a cut?
flash forward to last night. I didn't want that happening again, and I wanted it to be painless. This guy's got a conscience.
Good for him.
I asked my wife to leave the room because she was very upset, and I chose to do the deed by putting the fish in a plastic grocery bag and slamming it on the counter as hard as I possibly could. My bro,
Not even outside.
is that better? I think better for him is there's a bag.
Yeah, definitely bag is good, but like you're gonna slam that hard. You don't want to double bag it?
There's
Just
the
in
real problem.
case.
Use a Trader Joe's bag. Like nothing's getting out of those
It's
things.
true. When they ask paper or plastic, you can be like, paper for this one.
Thank you. The poor fish was absolutely obliterated. What? The force ripped. So he judged I was an 8-year-old when I did this, and I had to do it a couple times. So I'm putting this in a bag and giving it my all because I'm going to have to do this a couple times. Instead, the poor fish was obliterated. The force ripped open the bag and sprayed bits. Dude, double bag.
I said it.
Double bag.
I said it.
The force ripped open the bag and sprayed bits of what used to be the goldfish in every direction. Told my wife to stay upstairs, and she started getting suspicious as she heard me shoot the gun into the fish's head.
Oh my god, honey, stay upstairs.
So she comes down after 5 minutes, and it's just everywhere still. On the counter, on the stove, on the fridge, on the freaking Christmas tree. We still have it up. I was still finding pieces of it this morning. Wife was aghast and traumatized. Cried until she went to bed.
Oh my god.
Well, I'll tell you, tonight she's not sleeping with the fishes.
That's right. Or a little bit. She is sleeping with one fish, kind of a little bit on her.
Like a chunk
Yeah,
somewhere
just like
in
a
her
little bit of
hairline.
fish.
Too long didn't read. I euthanized my wife's dying fish quickly, but in the most visually traumatizing way possible. Now,
Yeah.
Colin, I hate to challenge this guy's story because it is traumatizing.
Sure.
But is it the most visually traumatizing way to euthanize a fish?
No, definitely not, I think. So have you ever this is so bad. So there's a game called Dead Space. Have you heard of this game?
Yes, I have.
Okay, there's a specific scene from this game that involves your protagonist Isaac being strapped to a table and a needle like being forcibly put into his eye, and you have to watch the whole scene. And the problem with that is if you mess up and you like don't get it right in the pupil, you get like a really graphic scene. And if you did that with the fish, I think that would be probably the see. Look at the face you're making now.
Yeah,
would
that
make
is a
sense.
way to kill it, right?
Yeah, see, I'm a little bit nervous that I came up with that like really fast.
Yeah.
Like we didn't have to edit a cut or anything.
No, we didn't. You just went straight to
Yeah.
tempting an older fish
Yeah.
who's aged and grown in a tank for years.
Yep.
Just blurry eyed. And one day you pull it out of the water and it's like, I'm finally going to get, what is that, LASIK surgery.
That's right. Yeah, he's gonna get LASIK.
And I'll be able to see my papa again. Thank you for helping me, oh feeding God. And then you just stab right through the eye.
The fish is just like flap, flap, flap.
Flippity flap flap. Yeah.
All right. That was definitely more visually disturbing
Wow.
than what we just read.
I was thinking about, my head went to a school of fish going through one of the jigsaw puzzles.
Oh, that's also a good one.
Yeah, right? Now they have to fish. They have to fight for their own lives.
Yeah.
They're flipping around. One of them is on like a pile of glass, and then there's a safe, and it's just got a little candle in its oiled up scales. And it's like, okay, I can't drop this thing or else I catch on fire. Flip, drop.
They have the same glass, and one of them's in like a plastic bag, Defining Nemo style. Oh, good. All right, let's see. That wasn't you said that was an execution. Execute order 60 fish. Good.
Yeah.
Good joke. I like it.
We're loving our Star Wars references in these.
Good.
They're building up.
Eventually, we're going to be a Star Wars podcast.
Wow.
Isn't that where every podcast goes eventually?
Star Wars? Absolutely. It's Star Wars or Simpsons.
That's true.
It's an S product for sure.
That's fair. That's fair.
Look out, Sandlot. We're
Here we
coming for
come.
you. Yeah. Wow, that is gruesome. I'm thinking about this. I don't, unless I'm blocking it out, I don't think we've ever had to traumatically put down any animals. I had a dog that died, and I was so sad that I walked out of the house into our driveway, and there were a bunch of cars parked in the front driveway because, this dog just went away.
Yeah.
So people were there to comfort us. I was in the driveway, and I literally dropped down to my knees, and I just like yelled into the sky. I was like, ah! And I punched the car next to me. I was so overreacting. It's a dog. I love him. Lucky. You're the best. And I stand up and I'm just like wiping my tears, and I look in the car, and there's been a lady sitting at the steering wheel this whole time. And I'm like, oh, I just punched her car. And it was like my mom's roommate's mom. So she knew what was up. So she didn't say anything to me. And it was so sweet. But like, imagine sitting in your car and a little chubby boy with an afro comes up and punches the car. Anyway.
You had a nice little main character moment there, though.
I did. I was like, nobody will know about my feelings. And I was like, she is going to tell everybody.
Like, oh no.
But we've never had to like take old Yeller in the backyard or old Fish in the kitchen and slam that thing down.
Yeah, I've never had anything like that. The Plecostomus thing was already dead. So that one.
It's different.
Yeah, it's very different. That's like desecration of a corpse.
Oh, I had a dwarf hamster. Oh, this is crazy.
I'm a little nervous that that
Well,
desecration.
it makes sense.
Okay.
So I'm in the kitchen with the
That's
blender
what I'm
on.
nervous about.
Wait a minute. No. I swear, no. It was in my room.
Thanks for watching What's Your Weird.
One of them, there were two, my sister's and mine, and my sister's got a big old tumor and died. And mine had a week of life and then jumped out of the cage and landed on its head. So I didn't put it down, but that also happened with a dwarf hamster, which is the cutest kind of hamster, if you ask me. They're so little with big old chipmunk cheeks. Anyways, probably can't talk about that here, but otherwise, 100% loving rate with my animals.
Yeah, no, that's that. You're doing really great. Aside from, well, you didn't get another one, did you? You didn't try again.
No, we gave up on them after.
That's a pretty good idea, I think.
We went back to dog.
It worked really well.
No tumors yet.
You know, that's honestly, as far as I'm concerned, if you have an animal that you like and you're like, I'm thinking about branching out to another animal that I know nothing about and I'm just trying out, maybe don't. Yeah.
Maybe don't.
Like,
maybe you're not good with animals.
Well, you could be fine with animals, but you could also be like hedgehogs. I know multiple people who have had this problem. Mm-hmm. They're like, hedgehogs are so cute. I'm going to get a hedgehog. They get a hedgehog. It's dead like 3 weeks later.
What's happening?
So hedgehogs are very, very stressed out creatures. And if you overstress them, they die. And so that's why a lot of times you'll see like if people who have had hedgehogs for a long time have a lot of things in their cages that hedgehogs can just shove their face in.
Like
little paper towel rolls.
They can hide their faces.
Literally just hide their faces in darkness.
Because they're so stressed.
Because they're just stressed and scared people. They like have to really trust you to like pull like out of the cage and like hold them in their hand. And what do you do when you get a really cute animal? You invite everyone over and everyone
Slam
tries
it on
to
the
touch
counter.
it.
What did you say? Did you say invite people over?
I think so.
I think I said that too.
Yeah, we definitely.
Jinx?
Yes, you owe me a large goldfish.
Oh.
Never let him around your cats.
Oh, they do look injured.
It wasn't me.
Wow. A hedgehog. Is there a weirdest pet you would have as a pet? I think the craziest I would get is potbelly pig.
Really? You would get a pig?
Ooh, yeah, a big one too.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
oh yeah, of course. Well, there's a friend of mine has gotten this argument with me for a very long time, and Cody, you can also help me out with this. There is no such thing as a teacup pig. You can get.
Are we starting on this, or because I've been complaining to you about potbelly pigs for the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, so
we've struck a nerve.
No, this is very real. Like there is no such thing as a pig that's not going to grow up to be like a pig.
There is. Have you seen the bacon industry?
Oh, you know what? That's a really good point. Gustavus Swift, what's happening?
Hey.
Did my project in 3rd grade about that, man.
Wow. Yeah, what did you learn?
I learned that I shouldn't have read The Jungle in 3rd grade. that was a bad decision.
And now you're a therapist and a podcaster.
That's why I'm like this.
Oh, creepy.
Yeah.
What do you hate about potbelly pigs?
Girl I was seeing was trying to convince me that that's what we need as an animal, not like a cute little dog. It was a cane corso and a potbelly teacup pig.
Yeah.
Chickens.
They eat everything.
A cow.
Love chickens?
No, I'm terrified of birds.
Oh, well, you would hate chickens. Those are birds.
Yeah, I know.
Those are really birdy birds.
That's right. They got like the bird feet and everything.
Yeah, they got the bird wing.
Like,
I'm a bird. I'm a bird. I think is what they're always trying to say.
Yeah.
My neighbor had them growing up and getting caught in high school when high school girlfriend's mom came home one day, jump out of the window, fall in the bush. And the only way out is I had to jump a fence, running through a yard with chickens and a giant German shepherd that's trying to eat me alive.
Well, that's a scene.
Terrifying.
What?
See, we just became a Sandlot podcast.
Did someone just start playing Benny Hill?
My dream.
I mean, there is something funny for a lady to watch a gentleman hop out her window and then see chickens fly up.
'Cause it's not one of those like normal windows, even though it's in a normal apartment. It's like one of those basement windows. So you gotta just launch yourself out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just this bush there. And up until like, I'd say 3 years ago, because this happened, 13 years ago? So up until 3 years ago, there was a Cody-sized hole in that bush.
Wait, you just jumped. All right,
I fell into the bush because it was right below the window.
Have you seen the other guys, right?
I have, yeah,
You
where
remember
they jump off the...
aim for the bush. That's ridiculous.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
I didn't imagine. So it's a bush. I don't know if you've ever tried to walk through a bush.
I mean, I've also tried jumping out a window into a bush. I don't know if I've told this story.
No, I've never heard this story.
I was of legal age at a college party drinking, and somebody came in, and it was one of my first big parties ever because I didn't party in high school.
That's right, yeah.
And
You had just turned 21.
I heard someone yell, "The cops are here." And so I jumped out of a second story and landed in a bush. And when I noodle-bodied back up, I didn't see any cherries and berries or cop cars or anything like that. And I'm like, what's going on here? And when I walked back in, my friends were dying. And we tried figuring out, and we found out that the dude actually yelled, "The cups are here." So I jumped out a window at cups.
See?
Yeah. But I landed in a bush, and it did not help. It was a very light bush, and honestly, I think being drunk saved me.
Yeah.
I think it just like limp fell and got up.
Yeah. Because I have also tried to walk through a bush before. Turns out branches, as far as they're concerned, not soft.
Very hard.
Yeah, definitely. They're like rigid, you know?
Yeah.
And then when you like walk through them, they like can cut your skin.
They'll stick you.
Yeah, that's fun.
Because you see the top and you think it's going to be all soft. And then you get in there and you're like, uh-oh, how do I get out?
Yeah. And not to mention, there might be spiders in there.
That's right.
Even
or they
worse.
could be rose bushes.
Thorns and stuff. Yeah.
When I used to play football in the front yard with like a bunch of my like neighborhood friends because I was born in the 50s and my family had like some rose bushes in the front of one thing, and one day the ball gets stuck in there and my friend just like runs up, and we're fairly young at this point. We're not like we're not like 14 or anything. I think we're like 13. I'm kidding. yet to be 10, and he just shoves his face in there, screams,
Of course.
comes out, and his face is like all sort of cut up, and it's really sad. And he looks at us and he just said, "It's sharp in there."
Oh.
And I was like, that is a revelation.
You're like, young man, it is not sharp in there.
I was like, wow, that's never put my face in there. He looks sad.
Bro, I got a good kid injury story.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but if this is where we're going, we used to play this game. Just dumb kids. We deserve to get hurt. That's how the story ends. I know. Anyways, the game was, there was a flag in the front of the house and it was hanging here outside. Mm-hmm. And the two siblings of one house would be here. And then me and my brother were on the other side. Mm-hmm. And we had a metal pole and we just tried, it was like, the game was called like hit the flag with the pole. And you would javelin the pole into the flag and you try to get it to hit the flag. And then it would come down on the other side and the other two people just had to run out of the way. Just had to run out of the way. One time we were playing and my brother did not run out of the way. And the pole went not only in his foot, but through his foot and between his toe bones and locked in the ground. So he couldn't move his foot out and he couldn't move it. And I pass out of blood. But at this time, I didn't know what was going on. So I was just like, Dad, oh, Dad. And my dad likes this story because from his point of view, he's with the parents up at the top of the street. It's a cul-de-sac community. And he hears this and he's like, all right, hang on. I got to go check on my boys. La, 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 what do you guys need? And I'm in the street, I'm like, Papa, run! And he finally sees what it is, and he's like, whoa, gosh, no. And he takes my brother inside, and he likes to talk about the sweet moment where he's got my brother's foot in the sink, and he's just running underwater until he can take him to the hospital. And the whole time, my twin brother's injured. I'm just standing there, this little kid next to him holding his hand, and I'm like, you're gonna be okay. I believe in you. Just look at me. It's you and me, buddy. You and me. And my dad was like, this is so sweet. And he is bleeding out so much right now. Because of course he ripped it out. Like,
of course.
ugh, God, what a nightmare as a parent.
I know.
And also what a nightmare game. When stupid idiots were like, wait a minute. Honestly, it was probably my game that I came up with, but real stupid.
So speaking of penetration, things getting weird. We got one more story today.
Here, I'll start this one, please. Wherever I put my glasses.
All
right, Grandpa, get the glasses.
While you're looking for your glasses,
I don't even know.
No,
where
you
they
got
are.
the. I figured they're gonna be a second. My brother actually almost cut his finger completely in half while doing stage work, and I was on my way to wrestling practice, and my mom was like, "We're gonna get your brother," and I basically did the exact same thing, but I was just holding my brother's finger together. So we get to the ER, and at the time I wanted to be a doctor. And so I asked the ER doctor if I could like stitch up part of my brother's finger. And so I did.
Ew, how unprofessional. What? No. I was hoping that was a big N-O.
But then my brother's finger's a little crooked and now he blames me. Which is
Yep,
probably fair.
probably right,
But he should
Colin.
blame the hospital.
You should blame the person who was cool enough to let me do it.
That's right. I'm not a doctor. That was his fault.
Yeah. Wow. That that explains a lot. Hey, today I messed up by thinking my son was having gay sex when he was just eating hummus. Okay. So I, 39 female, have a son, 15 male, and he brought a friend round today. They immediately went to their room, and I assumed they would just play some video games or whatever, so I was totally fine leaving them. It was about 30 minutes in when I was walking past. I heard sounds such as, OMG, that's so good, and it's so good with that in it, and various sounds. I can make that sexier. OMG, that's so good. It's so good with that in it. I think that's better.
I think that was definitely a lot more sexual.
Yeah, I was trying to channel my 15-year-old me. It really sounded like they were having gay sex. Thanks. I was just super weirded out by it, and so I quickly went downstairs and waited for his friend to leave. I would have also waited for his friend to come out, but that's fair. When this friend left an hour or two later, I asked my son what they were doing in his room, because although I don't mind him being gay, and I know it's normal for teenagers to have sex, a condom really should be used.
Yes.
It's a good parent.
I like that.
That's a hopeful parent.
Yeah.
So I planned to confront him about that.
Nice.
However, the answer shocked me to my very core. They weren't having sex. They were eating hummus. All right. I was shocked and initially didn't believe it. We had never had hummus before, and I asked him to show me the hummus if this was true. So he did, and I ate hummus for the first time, and oh my God, it was so good. We experimented with different things in it, like bread and carrots, and it was great. Apparently, his friend had heard about how we had never had hummus before and thought this was absurd, so he had planned a date for a hummus party. So yeah, it ended up getting quite a good ending. I discovered how nice hummus was. Too long didn't read, thought my son was having gay sex. He just really liked hummus.
Wow. Okay, so she missed a couple of puns, and I think we're going to critique her on that one.
Yeah, first
sure.
off, bummus is right in there.
Duh.
Right?
Come on now. And it ended up being quite a happy ending. Come on.
Easy,
Come on.
right?
Jeez. It's like she's never done comedy.
Oh. Teenagers using protection. That's good.
I like that a lot. That's a very Mean Girls mom moment, but I think that the Mean Girls mom for of all the things she was not, she was definitely caring.
She was caring.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the unsung hero of that movie, I think.
Yeah.
The mom who was just there for her child.
Like the whole time.
She just wanted the best for her.
Yeah. Child kind of sucked, but hey.
Kind of really sucked.
I know. Some of them do.
Hey, kids.
What are you going to do about them?
What are you going to do? My parents have never thought I was eating instead of having sex. Oh, Cody's got a story for us? All right.
All right. This is one I thought I'd maybe take on a stage. We'll sell it here. So there's a couple days after big tragedy in the family. Me, my mom, and my brother are all going out trying to lighten the mood. We're all trying to lighten the mood. But I need a new computer chair. So as we're driving down the street, I see one on the side of the road, pull over, grab it, throw it in the back. I notice I get some of that lube on my hand. My brother and I look at each other, start laughing, say, not the first time, won't be the last. That's all that's said about this. Okay, this is around like noon.
Oh.
Later that night, someone else comes up. My brother makes a joke about it. My brother always likes to make things uncomfortable about making sex jokes.
Got it.
At which point my mom goes, you know that's all right, right? I'm like, wait, what? At which point my brother and I realized for the last 6 hours, my mom has thought I came out in the most non-conventional, nonchalant way possible, and that was me telling her I was gay.
Mom, there's lube on my finger. Wink. She's like, I'm so proud of you. I'm an ally.
Look at me. I know I did good as a mom. That's great. That's good. That's wild. That's such a small thing. That I like that a lot though. My parents kind of do something similar. Like my laptop broke in college and my dad was like, "Are you selling drugs?" And I was like, "I literally just had a laptop break and need a new laptop. I didn't sell it for drugs so that I could sell drugs, Dad. That would be dumb." And then I realized, no, that would be smart because I would have made money.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike college.
I know. And my dad just thought I was a smart businessman. Turns out we're both disappointed.
We're all dumb. Wow. What's funny about that is you had to then come back in the closet with your family.
Not what I expected to happen that day. No.
Like, that's a roller coaster of emotions.
Like, my mom has always been that one who's been like, you can come out, right? I was like, yeah, but like, I'm
But
okay.
I don't need to.
Yeah.
yeah. You're like, Mom, do you want to come out?
Right.
Yeah, like, what are we
You
trying to say
guys
here,
are
Mom? Like, I get it. You got a best friend who's gay. We have uncles who are gay. I don't care. But like, no, really, I'll tell you, don't worry. And she legitimately thought that's how I was coming out that day. 6 hours. 6 hours without saying a word. Thought I was just
formulating
there.
a response.
Wow.
Or either that or she was just already like, either it was much more than 6 hours that she thought you were gay or.
Well, because then I'm questioning, I'm like, you've met a lot of my ex-girlfriends here.
That's fair.
What were your thoughts that you were like, yep, no questions?
My mom had a real problem when we were growing up, and that
Yeah.
was anytime my siblings and I it would be war constantly, just making jokes about each other, just making fun of each other.
Yeah.
And she would just let it all slide. But anytime one of them called me either potentially gay or fat growing up, my mom would always step in and be like, hey, and it would be okay if he was gay. And I'm like, you didn't mind when they called me short. You didn't mind that? Huh? And then also my brother would be like, yeah, it's because you're overweight. My mom would be like, he has broad shoulders. I'm like, Mom, we weren't talking for like an hour. You're just letting us. He called me ugly too. You want to maybe go for that? He said I was adopted half of this time.
Could we maybe, which by the way, not a bad thing.
Not a bad thing. Not saying it's a bad thing. My brother did though. Cancel him. Cancel my brother.
That's right. Being adopted is,
It's a good thing.
yeah,
It's a good thing.
yeah.
Be a
it is.
little more biased, why don't you?
I am actually quite biased.
Yeah,
I would,
super
I would,
biased.
I would say
Yeah.
that I am biased.
You should adopt a better position on that.
It's expensive. All right.
What do we got there?
My dad thinks I'm a homosexual.
Oh,
I like that one.
Homosexual.
I like that one a lot.
Homosexual.
It's nice. It's a good one.
Do you know what I bet his son doesn't want to hook up with any chickpeas. All right, that was bad. Cut it. Cut it.
That's staying in the edit.
No.
I'm just trying to make a tahini joke and I can't do it.
To weenie.
But dad thinks I like tahini.
That wasn't that funny.
No, it's not. Don't clap. Don't clap for that.
Don't clap.
Cody,
Everyone
stop
clapping.
laughing. Golly.
You're laughing too hard.
Come on, dude.
Leave it
goodness.
alone.
I don't get paid enough for this.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Hey, that is. What am I supposed to do with that?
I don't even know. Can I tell you another kid injury story?
Oh my god,
I
yeah.
got a couple of them.
You got a couple?
I got a
Your
couple of
you
them.
child injury or you not?
That's me and my siblings. So I got like a wealth of stories there. I mean,
did you play with bricks too?
I have a brick story.
I also.
Okay.
We are
mine
kids who
is
played with bricks.
I was going past a new like garden-y thing that was built on my house on my tricycle, and I was just being me on it, and I was trying to tip it, and I ended up tipping my tricycle over, and my shin landed on the bricks, chip side in here, and my shin now has a chip out of it because the brick hit it so hard at such an angle that it just kind of chiseled a little something out. So someday this thing will definitely break on me, and that will be a Big bummer.
Yeah, sounds like a bad day.
But yeah, that one I got a bunch of stitches for. And then I also got a big old stitch right here, like 15 stitches here, because my lip busted open. But as a kid, I couldn't stop picking it. So for like a year and a half of my Preston O'Phil lore, there are just photos of me with the scab right down here.
Just because you kept picking the 15 stitches.
Oh,
Dude.
No. Stitches came out.
Oh, you just picked the after? Oh, Preston. Preston.
It was so nice. Oh, God, it felt so good. But then I eventually had stopped. But my parents were always like, stop. We know you picked it. We can see because it's not there anymore.
Yeah.
Stop it. Stop. I'd be like, that was this is the last time, man. I swear I'm good.
I promise. You sure you don't have any more of those scabs, though?
Yo, man, I'm really hungry. I need something salty and thin. What about you? What's your brick story?
I'm sorry. We're going to just glaze right past that. All right, yeah.
Yeah, we're
brick
going to glaze past
stories.
the eating scabs joke.
Yeah. So my friend had a bunch of bricks in his garage that we used to use as like we had Legos, but we were like, these are outside Legos, so we would just like build stuff with the bricks.
Technically, right? But you're not sticking them together. You're just stacking bricks.
Correct. So and then we would just like play kid games and like LARP and stuff like with these bricks, and so
Jenga.
Yep. My fingers are not straight.
Hey, are they not straight or do they eat hummus?
That's right. They do both.
Ooh.
I like hummus a lot. It's really good. No, but we did like we one time did a cage match because we watched a lot of like WWE when we were a kid, so we just like pushed each other through stacked bricks.
What the heck? No, that's not where I thought this was going. What do you mean you pushed yourself?
We
Like the
choreographed
Kool-Aid
it a
Man?
little bit. Like
Oh,
we
well,
would be like, okay, so I'm gonna like throw you, and then you like go into and we'd be like, okay, cool, and then
I
we
have your
would
consent, right?
sort of. I don't know. We were weird kids. We would hit like old Nokia phones with bats and stuff. Like, not. That was.
That's cool though.
Is it?
That's cool.
Like
though.
at the park? Not cool. Not cool.
There's like some younger kids.
No
you're
one's.
like,
No
"You
one
wanna
else is
help?"
there. Okay. Obviously, we're not hitting Nokia phones at people. That's like bullets. But.
Oh, you're like pitching it to each other. Oh, I imagine just trying to smash it.
Oh no! Like set it up on a tee and then.
A T-Mobile. That makes me think of my brother and I used to have couch wars where I would take this side, he would take that other side of the couch. We'd put our feet together and we go 1, 2, 3. And the winner was whoever was left on the couch. And you could only use your feet and you would
wail on each other.
That was terrible. We were always like, nothing between the legs. And then immediately it's like,
Boys
Yeah.
being boys.
Boys being boys, a lot of that stuff. We grew our nails out for a hot second just to be able to claw each other a little harder. Yeah, you want to talk about a weird relationship.
Yeah,
We're
wow.
good now.
Good
Good now. We
I
trim
can
them
tell
up now.
I was gonna say your nails look nice.
Yeah.
You guys
We
always use a referee now.
always. Yeah.
Always.
That's just that young guy energy. And then, we didn't do sports by choice.
Yeah.
So we were just like after musical theater rehearsal. That's what our outlet was.
Yeah, we just boxed. I don't know. I just feel like when people are like boys will be boys, there's always like this nostalgia stuff that's like, just boys will be boys.
Just stupid stuff.
Right. It's none of it is good. At no point in time when someone's like, boys will be boys, he got into Harvard. Like that's not how that works.
Yeah. These boys are just studying so
That's right.
hard.
You know, boys
will be boys.
He's got a Nobel Prize. He's
Boys will be boys.
Boys will be boys.
He's been doing so much community service, just cleaning up the highways. Boys will be boys.
That's right. No, it's always like my friend had a brick and now my wrist is broken. Boys will be boys.
It's like I had triplets, now I have twins.
Boys will be boys.
It's like, this is a weird excuse that we're just giving.
Okay. Well, thanks for watching What's Your Weird, guys.
Yeah.
Let us know what your boys will be boys story is down in the comment section below. Feel free to like and subscribe. My goodness, Preston. Thank you for being here.
Colin, thank you for being here. This is so fun. Do you want to go get a coffee?
We should go get a coffee.
Let's go get a coffee.
Cafe.
Oh, sounds good. Adios, my friends. I shall see you next time.
Bye.